When my daughter Geneva transferred from baby care to preschool, I scheduled a couple of days off to help with the transition. I had been warned that 3-year-olds often need some hand-holding when they start a new school. On the morning of our arrival, my daughter stamped her big little feet up the stairs to the cozy house, turned the child-proof doorknob herself, walked in, spun around, and slammed the door shut. Several other children gazed longingly out at me through the window. I must have looked equally pathetic as I waved back at them, confronted by the fact that my daughter could find her own cubby and I was facing 2 very empty days. In kindergarten, one of the volunteer parents found Geneva blocks away from school during recess. As he escorted her back, he asked her why had she walked off school property. She replied, "I wanted to see what it felt like." When she got older, the Wizard of Oz became her obsession. I suspect she was spectacularly jealous of Dorothy's adventures. Dorothy's return to Kansas, however, must have been a devastating disappointment. At age 7, Geneva went to her first sleepaway camp. Together, we checked off items on the packing list, marked her clothes and her supplies with her name, and arrived at the bus pickup with plenty of time for hugs and goodbyes. At the check-in table, the counselor gave us a bus number and a name tag. Geneva spun around, located bus number 2, and off she went, me dragging her duffel bag behind her. While I stuffed her bag into the belly of the bus, she gave a cursory wave and marched up the steps. This time I followed her, plucked her up out of her seat, and gave her a big, juicy kiss. "Don't miss me," I whispered in her ear. "No worries," she replied. When it came time to pick the family dog, Geneva selected the puppy that the breeder said would lose his looks and was really the least desirable of the litter. Geneva held that puppy with a grip that defied gravity. "We'll call him Bogey," her brother announced, "because he's 1 over par." Bogey's nickname was 1 Inch, because for 12 solid years, whenever possible, he was never more than 1 inch from Geneva. During her brother's Little League years, every Saturday, Geneva and Bogey rode to the ballpark with us and disappeared into the hillside behind the bleachers for the entirety of the game. My mother was perpetually worried that my daughter would get lost or injured. We rolled our eyes. With that dog, she couldn't be safer. Lassie didn't have anything over Bogey. We got so used to my daughter's independence, it shocked even her when she experienced a stroke of homesickness during an extended trip to Israel her 16th summer. As I soothed her over the phone from thousands of miles away, I thought, so this is what it's like to have a normal daughter. One who misses me and home and the comfort of family. But she came back from that trip more self-defined and solid than ever, seemingly satisfied to have checked homesickness off the list she must keep of those things that are to be endured and overcome. So when it was time for the really big stuff, the college applications, I didn't know what to think. Geneva took and retook and retook the SAT. She worked and worked and worked on the applications and essays. It was not an easy time. We learned too soon that rejections don't come in envelopes anymore. They come in the look of your child's eyes after checking admission status online. Fast forward to the airport. Geneva packed her own suitcase this time, ignoring my well-intended packing list, so who knows what's inside the 50-pound bag. She's headed to England to study theater. She found a small school in York that accepted her with open arms, even after all of those other schools passed her by. This time, I actually get a goodbye hug. Choking back tears, I watch her wind her way through security and turn back to wave. Suddenly, I realize she has listened to her mother all this time. Be your own person. Pick your friends the way you picked your puppy. Resilience is your lifeline. Geneva announced over FaceTime the other day that she'll be going to study in Helsinki next fall as a study abroad student from York. Apparently, there's a very progressive theater scene in the capital of Finland. These days, she ends our FaceTime conversations with, "I love you, Mommy." "No worries," I answer. Thank you.